Giants fans, what is going on? You are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down that NFC East win, the Giants 13-7 over the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm pumped up, and I know you guys are too, so jump down in the comment section, and let's get that comment section flowing. What was your one-word reaction to the game? There's a lot of different ways you can go. I'm sure you guys will be colorful and very creative. So get down in the comments, and I will give you my one-word reaction in just 1 second. But first, let's take a look at the stats and just an overview of this game. And when you think of a New York Giants versus Philadelphia Eagles game, this is what comes to mind for me. Dirty, defense, rugged, some lucky, some unlucky. That's kind of what all came into account for the New York Giants. I mean, at the end of the game, when they had to stop the Philadelphia Eagles, they dropped 2 interceptions, and then Jalen Reagor dropped the game-winning touchdown. I don't know if that's lucky, but that's what I'm leaning towards for the New York Giants. But at the end of the day, when you can win a game in, November, the week after Thanksgiving, it is always a good feeling. It is a better feeling anytime you can beat the Birds from Philadelphia. I'm pumped up, and I asked you guys just a second ago to get your one-word reaction, and I told you I would get mine in. And what I'm leaning towards when it comes to the Giants beating the Philadelphia Eagles, my one-word reaction is this. It's my show first, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going with defense and lucky. First, we'll touch on lucky. And just like I said a few seconds ago, you got lucky because the Eagles, they dropped the game-winning touchdown, that being Jalen Reagor. But at the end of the day, the defense showed up and did what they had to do and got the stops necessary to win this football game. When you give up just 7 points and win a football game, you got to give a shout-out to this defense. And on today's video, I want to shout out Patrick Graham. You drew up a beautiful game plan. Jalen Hurts, he helped you out a little bit because he didn't play that well. But at the end of the day, you got the stops you needed, and you are leaving this game with a W. And because the defense played so well, I want to give a shout out to my guy Michael Strahan. At halftime of today's game, his number was inducted into the Giants Ring of Honor. So let's show Strahan some love. Let's get back in the comments. Type 92, spam it, comment as many times as you want. He deserves it. A Super Bowl champion for the New York Giants. One of my favorite Giants players ever. I'm pumped up. That number 92 will never, ever be worn again in New York Giants blue. So get down in the comments and type 92 to show Strahan some love. There's been some big news around the New York Giants lately. Jason Garrett, he was fired, and there's rumors now that Dave Gettleman will not be back next year being the GM of the New York Giants. And if that happens, I promise you we will be making a video breaking it down as soon as it happens. When Jason Garrett got fired, we had a video up within 10 minutes. So if you want to stay up to date on the latest New York Giants news, rumors, Dave Gettleman replacements, make sure you hit that big red button because you're not going to want to miss it. This is your one-stop shop for all New York Giants news and rumors. So go down right now and hit that big red button. My one beef, if you can have one, following a win. I know it's always tough, and you don't want to be the nitpicker, but at the end of the day, wins are like Band-Aids. They cover up wounds, but they are still there. And this is one thing that's bothered me about the Giants since Joe Judge has taken over. And that's the Giants continuing to play not to lose. For instance, 3rd and 2 in the 4th quarter. You had a chance to get the first down and win the game on offense. Who wasn't in the game? Kenny Golladay. You just fired Jason Garrett because Kenny Golladay wasn't on the field. On 3rd and 2, he wasn't there again. And then you jumped off sides. You shot yourself in the foot. So you had a 3rd and 7. Then Kenny Golladay comes trotting out, and you target Pharaoh Cooper. That's the type of stuff that makes my blood boil about Daniel Jones. Go to your playmakers. Get the ball to number 19. I promise you all will be well for this New York Giants offense. And you, Daniel Jones, if you target number 19. Daniel Jones on the day, he had a so-so game. I wouldn't say he won the game for the Giants, but he damn sure didn't lose the game. No turnovers. That's probably the most important stat on screen right now. 19 for 30, 202 total passing yards. Okay, I guess. And he had the 1 touchdown to the tight end on the block and release into the end zone. An okay game for Daniel Jones. There were some things I liked, some things I didn't like. One thing that popped off the screen and I thought was the biggest difference today under Freddie Kitchens compared to Jason Garrett was the way that Daniel Jones's legs were a part of the game plan. Early on in the game, there were multiple QB dives, QB ISOs, and there was also some QB powers and zone reads. I like that with the Giants offense today, and I hope that Daniel Jones will continue to build off this win and play turnover-free football as the season comes to a close. But you be the judge. Jump in the comments one more time for me. Grade Daniel Jones's performance. I know everybody in the comments has a differentiating opinion on Jones, and now is your time to sound off. So get down in the comments and let me know. What is your grade for Daniel Jones' performance today? One more time, I really want to give a hats off to this Giants defense. They played big. I'm going to say it, the best game of the season so far for this Patrick Graham-led unit. The Eagles on offense, 332 yards, just 124 passing yards. The secondary really showed up. Patrick Graham, he made life hell for Jalen Hurts. Rushing yards, 208. You knew the Eagles were going to try to run the ball, and that's a strength of their team. At the end of the day, you did not let the run game beat you. That was big for this defense. Third and fourth down conversions, the Eagles, they were 4th and 13. That's an area this Giants defense has really started to step up. Well, a stat not on screen, the Giants defense was also great in the red zone when it comes to stopping the Philadelphia Eagles. They bent, but they did not break. That is a signature style for this Giants defense. And the most important stat of all, 4 turnovers. You got pressure on Jalen Hurts, and you capitalized on most of the opportunities you had on a defense, because Jalen Hurts, if you caught every interception, would have ended the day with 6. One thing I was happy about this New York Giants defense, although Boston Scott scored, they did not let Boston Scott destroy them and win the game. Boston Scott has scored 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 touchdowns in 5 straight games against the New York Giants. I hate Boston Scott, and I know you do. So get down in the comments and type FBS for F Boston Scott. One more look at the Giants' offensive stats for the day. 264 total yards. Nothing really that different from the Jason Garrett-led offense. 194 passing yards for Daniel Jones and 70 rushing yards. I'm becoming to be a little bit worried about Saquon Barkley. He had the one long run of 32 yards, but after that, he was pretty much held in check. Multiple 1-yard runs, loss of 1-yard runs. I would like to see Saquon Barkley become a better player. Not a more focal point of the offense, because today he was. They used him in a variety of ways. He just did not produce. 4th and 3rd down conversions, 4-13, and 0 turnovers. You play like that, anytime you don't turn it over, that's going to be a win most of the time. One thing I did think that was different was Kenny Golladay. He was more of a focus. I think I saw he had 7 targets on the day, just 3 receptions, but it was not enough. They targeted him in the red zone 3 times today, which is 1 more time than he had all season. Coming into today's game, he had just 2 red zone targets. I like him being used more in the offense, but Daniel Jones needs to be more successful when targeting Kenny Golladay. When the game is on the line, target Kenny Golladay. When you could put the game away on offense, get the ball to your playmakers, and that is Kenny Golladay. Get the ball to 19, and good things happen. When you look at this game as a whole, let me know, who was the Giants' MVP for you? I think you can go a couple different ways. Xavier McKinney had the interception. Darnay Holmes also had an interception. Or maybe you want to give it to Daniel Jones because he simply did not have a turnover. But get your votes in. Who was the Giants' MVP today? There were some reports that came out early this morning, that Ian Rappaport said that it sounds like Dave Gettleman will not be back next year for the New York Giants as their general manager. He put out an article and he said this. General manager Dave Gettleman, who has run the team's personnel department since 2018, is unlikely to return in 2022. With 2 first-round picks in the next draft and a critical offseason ahead, don't be surprised if there is another voice making the final call alongside head coach Joe Judge. And I kind of saw this coming, as you did, much of you guys did as well. Dave Gettleman, it hasn't worked out very much as the general manager of the New York Giants, and you saw this coming. Maybe it's going to be a forced retirement. Maybe they just fire him. But at the end of the day, like Ian Rappaport tweeted about this morning, it sounds like Dave Gettleman will not be back. And in tomorrow's episode of New York Giants Now, we will be breaking down the top Dave Gettleman replacements. So one more time, make sure you are subscribed because you're not going to want to miss that. But guys, the thing I love about Chat Sports, and especially New York Giants Now, is we take the pulse of you guys in the comment section, and we really depend on interaction between me and you. So let me know, should the Giants bring back Dave Gettleman next year to once again be the GM of the New York Giants? If you want him back, type Y for yes, or if you're ready to kick him to the curb, go down and type your N for no. And guys, help me out. I'm trying to up my Twitter followers. I want them to be full of Giants fans, and a lot of you guys have already followed me on Twitter, so thank you for that. During today's game, I was live tweeting the Giants game, every big play, analysis, all that good stuff. And I love to talk New York Giants football with Giants fans. So hit me up on Twitter and give me a follow at @MarshallGreen_.